and see those concepts come to life. This workshop provides hands-on experience built to strengthen everything you have learned so far and help you apply it with confidence. So let's get started. So I'll quickly give you the overview of GenAI Academy. In the first edition of GenAI Academy, more than 3.2 lakh developers from across India joined the movement to strengthen their skills in cloud and AI. The energy, curiosity, and drive to learn were outstanding, and the momentum is exactly what brings us back. GenAI Academy 2.0 is a self paced upskilling program designed around today's most critical technological domains. They are data, security, DevOps, networking, AI ML, and cloud. This program gives you access to hands on learning, official certificate, and expert led masterclasses. You will get to learn directly from Google Cloud experts, apply your skills in real labs, and gain the kind of practical knowledge that truly builds confidence. This isn't just another learning program, it's a chance to align your skills with technologies driving real world innovation today. So now let's talk what's new in Academy 2.0 compared to the earlier version, that is Academy 1.0. In Academy 1.2, we had a single unified track for learners, whether students or working professionals. Participants needs to complete 5 core courses and receive one certificate of completion at the end. But this time we have leveled up things. In Academy 2.0, you can now explore domains like data, security, DevOps, networking, AI/ML, and serverless. Each track comes with its own courses, labs, and a dedicated certificate upon completion. And for those who are aiming high, if you complete all the 6 tracks, you will receive a final Academy completion certificate recognizing your full journey across all the domains. So, whether you specialize in one area or go all in for all, the choices and the rewards are both yours. So, why should you participate in Academy 2.0 journey? So, I'll break it down for you. First, skill validation. You'll earn verifiable skill badges from the official Google Cloud Skill platform, proof of your hands on expertise in specific Google AI technologies. Each track you complete gives you a track specific certificate that you can showcase anywhere. Second, job readiness. Technology is evolving faster than ever, and staying job ready means staying current. This program gives you a hand on validation and practical exposure that employers value, helping you stand out in cloud and AI roles. And the third is mastering AI tools. We all know AI is everywhere. It's shaping the way every product and service work today. So why not master it? Through this program, you will get practical experience with Cloud Run, Firebase, BigQuery, among others. So you are not just learning theory, but actually building AI. So these are the 6 tracks in which you have to do the courses, which I've explained earlier as well. Now, in our previous 2 masterclasses, we have detailed walkthrough of earning certificate. So if you have any doubts regarding how you will get the certificate, please revisit the previous masterclasses for exact walkthrough for the same. And now let's move to the most awaited part of today's session. We are joined by Jasmine Maheshwari, customer engineer in Google Cloud. Jasmine will be guiding us through the hands-on workshop focused on AI and data. Yeah, hi Jasmine. Jasmine, you are on mute.
Yeah, hi everyone. Good evening.
So yeah, Jasmine, the stage is yours. You can start with the hands-on workshop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're able to see my screen? Yeah, so before I begin, I'm Jasmine Maheshwari. I'm customer engineer here at Google Cloud. And as part of this role, I help customers, CXOs, engineering leaders, GenAI leaders to actually strategize and adopt generative AI. And along with that, creating scalable, optimized architectures, performant architectures is what I help customers with. So today's agenda is very interesting. We are going to build the conversational analytics agent for BigQuery, and that is with Agent Development Kit. We call it ADK. right? Now, before we get with the hands-on workshop, I think it's important to understand few concepts. And here, I'll first begin with Google BigQuery. A lot of you might already know about BigQuery, but just in case, if you don't know, this is Google Cloud's enterprise-grade data warehouse. And of course, data warehouse, when I talk about it, it is for analytics, right? Now, think of this, right? Any business today, it's very important for them to leverage data, have the insights, and give differentiated experiences to their customers. Hyper personalized experiences, it's something that is key to the business's success today. And that's where BigQuery helps. Now, this is gigabyte to petabyte scale storage. And as you might have guessed, because there is data in BigQuery, huge amount of data in BigQuery, it's very important that your data is secured. And that's why it is encrypted, it is durable, so that there is no data loss, and it is highly available. Now, towards the left, whatever we saw are more of important characteristics. But what is unique about BigQuery? Let's look into that as well. So consider that what if you have fully managed and serverless data warehouse? And what I mean by that is you don't have to manage any infrastructure, right? You simply spin up BigQuery and start using it. You don't have to think of how much scale you need for your infrastructure, right? Or you don't even need to tune a lot of configurations. It is fully managed and serverless. Second, it provides real-time insights from streaming data. Third, and which is very important, and that's also something we will take a look at in today's workshop, is it has built-in ML for out-of-the-box predictive insights. Right now, consider a couple of years back. Right, consider the journey. It used to be data and analytics used to be one product, and there used to be special products for machine learning. And even though machine learning suite uses the data, which is pretty much leveraged by your data warehouse, there were still two different products working in silos. All of those problems were there. And now there is a time where having consolidation of these two technologies is super important, right? So while BigQuery can help with descriptive analytics, how about predictive insights, predictive analytics? And that's where having built-in ML for predictive insights is what BigQuery gives us. And that's something that customers love. Then next is high speed and in-memory BI engine. For example, consider any business. You need some daily, weekly, monthly reports, right? And for that, you really need very fast BI engine because this is accessed by your CXOs, your leadership, the business teams, product teams, and the speed is key there. And that's where high speed in-memory BI engine is again a differentiator. Now, coming to, we spoke about BigQuery, and today's workshop is going to be on conversational analytics on BigQuery, right? When I say conversational analytics, you can actually chat or have natural language conversation with BigQuery. And how we are going to achieve that is with the help of agents. Now, what is difference between agents and regular software applications? So there is a huge difference, right? Agent is also a software application, but it is different in the sense that your software applications are have deterministic flow, right? You exactly code and program the way you want it. But consider if there was something which could take autonomous decisions based on its own understanding of the problem and decide which tools to call, which other sub functionalities to call. And that's where agents are very important. And we will leverage agents today to talk to BigQuery, to have natural language conversation with BigQuery. And for that, developing the agent, you might already be aware there are several frameworks available out there, something like a LangChain, LangGraph, right, and many more. So now, considering that we have so many frameworks Why one more framework by Google, right? And that's really interesting. Even though there were several frameworks out there, I think the problems that customer faced was the kind of effort they had to put into to develop a really sophisticated, complex multi-agent AI systems or AI agentic AI applications. And that's where customers told us that they would like a framework or development kit which would simplify all of this, right? And they don't have to do heavy lifting of everything. And that's where Google created Agent Development Kit, which is a flexible and modular framework. And it is not just for developing AI agents, but as also deploying AI agents. And beauty of it is open source, right? And along with that, it also kind of integrates with Google's first party models, not just Google's first party models like Gemini, but also open source, popular open source models, third party models, proprietary models, right? And it integrates with several tools out there with the help of model context protocol, or it can have its own tools. And that's where this whole ecosystem is very interesting. Now we will take a quick look at what are we going to do today, right? And what are the different agent types. Consider this diagram and you can see that there is a base agent and there are multiple sub agents here, right? The first one is LLM agent, second is workflow agent, and third is custom logic. Now, the or custom agent. Now, from the name, you must have guessed what a custom agent is. So I'll focus more on A and B. LLM agent, and that's a beautiful concept, right? As I said, agents are supposed to be autonomous. It's supposed to take its own decision. It needs to have its own understanding, and then execute the business logic, right? So no matter what query comes its way, as long as it is related to the domain, it should be able to address it, and it should be able to take complex path, right? If there are three lines of businesses, it should be able to integrate across all three lines of businesses functionality by taking a look at what is available to it and what is the query from customer. Second is workflow agents. Now, these workflow agents are for deterministic flow. When you're very sure there are n number of steps and these have to be executed in a particular manner, that's where you will use workflow agents. And there are different types in it, as you can see. There is sequential agent, parallel agent, and loop agent, and these are self-explanatory. So just showing you the high-level architecture that we would build today, right? And this is how the ADK gives. This is the ADK architecture that you can follow. You have root agent, which is your orchestrator agent, and then you can have multiple sub agents, and each of these sub agents will have access to some tools. Now, you might wonder if agent is going to do everything autonomously, what you as a developer will have to do, right? And of course, there is a good news. That good thing is orchestration is not something which needs a lot of brain, right? And where we really value your time is more about creating the functionalities, creating your business logic, which is very, very concrete business logic that you want to use. And that will be in the form of tools or the sub agents, right? And orchestration, you are handing it over to the agent. Yeah, so that's about it. Now, let's get started. I know you are very excited about this workshop today, and we can get started. So let's follow two-step process before we actually get onto the hands-on workshop. First is we give you credits, right? So you can claim the credits. Second is after that we are going to create a Google Cloud project. So if you want to claim the credits, please use this URL. And please note this, please open this, right? And once you have this open, this will help you in creating claiming the credits. Now this URL will take you to this screen where it says sign in with Google. Now please hold on and listen to me very carefully. When you sign in with Google, it has to be a Google Cloud Gmail ID, right? Not your personal ID where Google Cloud account doesn't exist. So please use your Google Cloud Gmail login or Google login and sign into that. And post that, you will see this button. Click here to access your credits. When you click on that, basically it will pop up this dialog where you have to enter your first name, last name, and just to accept and continue. Now post this once you have claimed the credits, and I hope you are with me. The pace, we're matching the pace. Now we will create a Google Cloud project. So what we need to do for that is when you by now you have entered Google Cloud Console, right? So click on create or select a project. Now towards the right of that dialog box, you will see a new project option. Please click on that and you name your project. And here again, important thing, you select billing account as Google Cloud Platform trial billing account. Now how do you get this? If you have claimed the credits, you will get this option. Okay, and yeah, just leave the rest as is and say create. Now, in case if you were not able to see this billing account while creating the project, don't worry, we can still handle it. So go to billing from the Google Cloud Console, right? In the search box, just type billing, and there you would be able to see this Google Cloud Platform trial billing account. Associate that with your project, and yeah, you are all set. And now we have claimed the credits, we have created the project. Now we will dive deep into this workshop. So let me take you to this through this workshop. Please open this. This is the link to the workshop, and I'm also going to share the workshop link. So here, as the name suggests, title suggests, right, we are going to build and evaluate BigQuery agents using ADK and GenAI Eval service. So we will also have our evaluation framework to see if our agent is if our agent is functioning well. So you can see here that let's quickly understand this architecture, right? There is this ADK runtime, and inside that you can see the execution logic. Now I had mentioned that you can develop and deploy with ADK, right? And that's where for deployment ADK gives you runtime. So in ADK runtime you can deploy your agent. And if you see here, right, you have LLM agent, which is the autonomous agent that we're using for this workshop, which will basically call the BigQuery first party toolset. Now, because BigQuery is Google Cloud's product and ADK is also developed by Google, we have some first party toolsets to our own products. And that's where we will leverage this first party toolset to make our life easy. So LLM agent would call that, and this toolset would basically interact with BigQuery. Now, this is the important flow, right? But how do you call this LLM agent? There is a runner, the Python file that we're going to create, which will have services such as session, state, and memory management. It will associate with these services, and that will call LLM agent. And at the end, we can use Vertex AI GenAI Eval service for our evaluation. So yeah, let's proceed. Now I think we've discussed all of these. I'm going to go on to next screen, and let me walk you through these things, right? So you've already created a project. Now what you need to do is start the cloud shell, right? You can see the icon over here. In fact, let me show you. So you can see this icon over here, right? You can click on that, and while it is authorizing, basically once it comes up and once you authorize, it's going to ask you a password. So I entered this password. Yeah, so my shell is up, cloud shell is up. Now you can copy all of these commands, execute it one by one, and see the path, right? So consider first one is you're just authenticating your cloud shell, which is gcloud auth list. You can copy and run that. Post that, you can use gcloud config list project to understand if your project is configured with gcloud. Gcloud is the command that we're going to use for all our next steps today in this workshop. It's a yeah, command line for executing and creating infrastructure and doing all the operations. So yeah, let's execute that as well. And then we need to configure our project ID. This project ID will be used later, so please make sure that you do it right? And let me also show you what needs to be done. So when you go to this and you paste this command, so you need to replace this project ID, right? And if you want to see what is your project ID, you have to go here, copy this ID, whatever is your project ID, and paste it over here. Okay, so I'm just going to do that quickly. Yeah, so my project ID is set. Now going on to next thing. Now you need to enable APIs for three things. One is the BigQuery APIs, then your AI platform, because we are going to use agent, yeah, agents, and also the evaluation service, the generative AI evaluation service, and the cloud resource manager. So please copy these and run this command again. And after running it, you will see that the operations finished successfully. You should see this. Now go on to the next step, right? And this is the actual fun thing, right? Where we are actually doing all interesting creations. So the first is we will create a BigQuery dataset through the command line. So let me copy this. And what it does is BQ is BigQuery make dataset, and location should be US, and the dataset name is e-commerce. Okay, so you can execute this and it will create your BigQuery data set. Now this is empty data set. What you created in the first line is empty data set. You need to load data into it. So in our Google Cloud Storage, which is our object storage, we have e-commerce data available in the form of Avro. The format is Avro, and you can copy this to load the data into this uh, BigQuery data set. So the data set is created. Now let me run this and it will load data into BigQuery. And we can go verify this once the data is loaded, and I'll help you understand how to do that. So this is, yeah, it's still running. Now here, when you go to BigQuery, in the search button, in the search dialog box, just uh, type BigQuery and you will see this. And here you will be able to see the e-commerce data set that you created and also the tables which are populated here, right? So this is what you should be able to see. In fact, when you go here, you will also be able to see the data. When you say preview, you will be able to see the data that you have just now populated. So yeah, coming on to the next steps now. So far we have created a BigQuery data set, we have loaded the data. Now let's work on agents part, right? Very interesting one. So what we will do now is just first of all create a BigQuery ADK code lab directory, and let's go into that, copy this and execute it. Yeah, so I've created the directory and we will set the Python environment here. So please go ahead and execute all these steps. And we will also install some of the Python packages. First is Google ADK for agent development. Then we have Google Cloud AI platform, that is for evaluation, and Pandas library. So let's do that one by one. Yeah, so while this is executing, now let's go on to next screen. Okay, now we will be creating an agent, and it's a really simple thing to create this agent. There is command ADK create data agent app. Data agent app is the name of the agent that we want to create. Now, good thing is when we do ADK create, it will basically give us new agent application with the necessary folders, files, and scaffolding code as well, right? So let's copy and execute that once all the packages are installed. So it is still installing the packages. Once you're done, you can actually go ahead and run that command ADK create and it will create the agent. But meanwhile, let me walk you through the next steps as well. So when you create this, you will have following prompts. The first is which model to choose. So choose Gemini 2.5 Flash. Then choose Vertex AI for the backend, right? You have to enter the choices one or two. So for first, choosing the model, you will choose one. For choosing the backend, you will choose two, which is Vertex AI, and then just confirm the project ID and region if this is correct, right? You will see this BQ demo or whatever is your project name. You will see that here, and the region would be US Central One. So just verify that and click on next. So let me go on to creating the agent. So this is now creating the agent. I've selected one, two for Vertex AI, and yeah. Okay, it says I need check out the link for details, right? I need existing Google Cloud account and project. So yeah, maybe I did not execute initial few steps and that's why it is saying this. So yeah, you can as well click on this if that's something that's happening for you. And now after running that, you should be able to see this kind of structure in your editor, right? So when you go here, you will also see open editor button. You can actually open that, and towards the left, you will be able to see the yeah, you will be able to see the ADK structure that we just now saw, right? So it should be something like this: BigQuery ADK code lab. Then you have initiation of the Python environment, and then you have data agent app which you had created, init.py, agent.py, and .env. Now, once you have this, just go to .env file and use this. Make sure that you have all of these in right values in this, right? The vertex AI should be 1. Here you should have your project ID. It should already be right, but if it is not there, as I shown you last time, you can go to your project, copy this ID, and put it out there, right? And the Google Cloud region is this one, US Central 1. Okay, between central and 1 there is no hyphen, US hyphen central 1. So now let's go on to next steps. Okay, now we will be creating this, we will be updating the agent.py with this code. If you see in last screen itself, we had agent.py, and that you would see uh, in your editor, right? So yeah, let me reconnect this. So when you go to your editor, you should be able to see the same structure over there. And in agent.py, you have to copy this code, right? And then you will run ADK web. Now, let me walk you through what this does. Right? It first of all imports all the necessary packages. Then to BigQuery, we need to have a credentials to connect to the BigQuery. So it will sort that out here. And then we are defining the agent, right? We discussed about having a base agent or root agent. So in agent, we specify what model it is, like 2.5 Flash. What is the name of the agent? BigQuery agent. Then we have description of that agent and instruction. Now, instruction is very important, right? It specifies what the agent should do. So basically, here we are saying you are a BigQuery data analysis agent, right? So the responsibility is very clear that you're going to analyze the data. And on top of it, we're saying you are able to answer questions on data stored in your project ID. Now, you need to replace your project ID here and on the e-commerce data set. So please make sure that you are replacing this project ID, and then yeah, your agent.py is fine. Right now, let's run ADK web. Right now, this is really interesting. When you do ADK web, you will be able to chat with your agent. It will create a web application where you can ask your questions. Okay, so you will see something like this, where you can actually have a chat and ask the questions. For example, right now you can ask that what kind of tables are there in this e-commerce data set, right? Something of that sort. So now you've developed one agent wherein you are able to talk to that agent, you are able to converse with that agent, right? But let's look at more advanced stuff now. Now, there is to call this agent and to evaluate whether the agent is doing well. So ADK web was more for your exploration testing, or in fact, even if you're looking for a chat interface for your application, that helps. But let's say if you now want to evaluate your agent, if it's doing the right functionality, we will do few more steps. So Now you create a new file named runagent.py inside your editor, right? And copy and paste this code and then execute it. So let's say now you have so let me go to another project, and let me show you how it looks like. Okay, so I think, yeah, looks like the initial commands had missed out, and that's why. But you will be able to see that folder structure, right? And there you need to create this run agent.py, and copy and paste this code. What this does is it basically creates the in-memory session service where you can preserve the response of the session. Now, session here is basically a user ID when they're conversing with your BigQuery. They will have a particular session ID and an app name, and you will get a response out of it when you submit your query or question, right? And what this does is basically it will understand the tool name, which tool needs to be called, and then it will also create the final response out of your event. So post that, now we need to create one more file inside your folder, which is utils.py, right? Here, BigQuery. So in this folder, BigQuery ADK code lab, you have to create utils.py and also paste this code. Now, what this does is it actually calls the run agent and the run conversation on top of it, right? Run conversation for the run agent, and it will save the evaluation results in the output file path that you define. So there will be a JSON file. So when you look at the editor, inside your inside your main folder, BigQuery ADK code lab in the editor, you will be able to see this evaluation result which is generated there. Yeah, and then you can also print the evaluation summary. So what we're doing is we are having the summary metrics in terms of evaluation of a agent, whether the agent did right job, it was accurate, it had completeness, right? Those metrics we are defining here. So just create utils.py and copy and paste this code, and then now we actually go and run our evaluation framework evaluation, right? But before that, what we need is we also need evaluation data set, right? Before Without the evaluation data set, you won't be able to evaluate if the agent is doing well or not functionally, right? So what you would do here is create this file, the evaluation dataset.json, inside again your BigQuery ADK code lab directory, and paste this JSON file. What it does is it has a prompt and the reference answer. For example, here, what tables are available in the dataset e-commerce, which we created in BigQuery, right? So now in reference, basically the tables available in e-commerce are events, inventory items, distribution center, order items, right? So these are some of the questions that you can give it as the evaluation framework, and later we will validate what is the accuracy and completeness of our agent. So there are several questions here and the reference answers as well. Now you populate this, and again go on to next screen. And if you see, now you've got everything. Now we're going to run this evaluate agent.py, right? So just write Python and eval. No, sorry, I think you first have to define the evaluate agent.py. We have not yet created that, right? So you create this file and copy paste this code into it, and then go on to next page. Yeah, and here Again, there is some more stuff that we need to do. Whatever you pasted in last screen for evaluate agent.py, we're going to paste this code as well below the earlier code, right? So this is for running the evaluation, and it also defines the eval task, the data set, what are the metrics that need to be taken into consideration, and the eval result for that. And we are finally saving the evaluation result and the summary, right? So create this evaluate underscore agent.py with the code from this screen, as well as at the bottom of it, this screen as well. And then you again go on to next screen, where now you will execute this evaluate agent.py, right? You do python evaluate agent.py in your shell, cloud shell, and you will see something like this. Now if you see, um, you can see that factual accuracy metric is 2.6, and completeness metric is 2.87. Right now, what is a good accuracy metric and completeness metric? What is a good value for it is close to 5. 5 is the highest, right? So we probably have scope for improvement. This is not great, right? And we can improve this further. And you might get this error encountered for metric trajectory, single tool and data set, but don't worry about that. You would still be able to see these evaluation results in your BigQuery ADK folder that you created, right? You would see BQ agent eval results .json, right? And look for all the values here. You will be able to see that. Okay, now we will go ahead and improve our agents' evaluation results. And how do we do that? Is a very simple thing. As I had spoken about how important is instruction, and we need to optimize this instruction, right? Initially, we had just two-liners, and now we're going to add more details for it to improve the evaluation results. So now I'm saying you are a data analysis agent with access to several BigQuery tools, and use the appropriate tools to fetch relevant BigQuery metadata and execute SQL queries, right? So this is a very concrete instruction that we're giving it to the agent, and you must use these tools to answer the user's questions. Run these queries in the project ID. Again, replace your project ID here on the e-commerce data set, right? And you have already defined the tools for that agent. So if you go to agent.py and just replace this instruction, or replace the whole root agent part, and then run the Python evaluate agent.py, you should be able to see now the performance is improved, right? And the way you will be able to verify that is basically you have the total questions in your evaluation data set were 15, right? Your average completeness score is 4.73, right? And your average factual accuracy score is 4.2. So we have improved to a great extent here, right? So yeah, that's what we have done. So far what we've done is, initially we created the BigQuery data set named e-commerce. We gave it a name e-commerce. Then we loaded data from Google Cloud Storage, which is from the public bucket, the e-commerce data set, which was in Avro format, to our BigQuery data set. And post that, what we did is we developed the agent, right? We first created the scaffolding of the agent code, where we just ran ADK create and the agent name, and it gave us the structure. It created the folders and the beneath structure for that. Then we created agent.py, where we defined root agent, and also we created runner for calling the agent. We also ran, before that we also ran ADK web to just have the chat interface to play with your BigQuery. right? And in fact, now that you've actually improved your instruction, you can again do ADK web, right? And try and have more questions to your chat. Use that chat and your natural language queries to query your data. For example, because this is e-commerce data and it has distribution centers, orders, order items, right? Users. You can query anything about those data sets in the natural language, and what that does in turn, the first party BigQuery tool set, what it will do is it'll convert that natural language into SQL query. That SQL query will be fired on the BigQuery, and the results that we fetch out of BigQuery will be again sent back to you on the chat interface. And even in evaluation agent.py, while we are running the evaluation agent, it also does similar thing. Just that now it is comparing your evaluation reference against the response that you have received. So yeah, basically, uh, the interesting thing here is within an hour, you could create an agent. You could create the BigQuery dataset, right? You could load the data, and not just that, but your agent can talk really nicely, right, to the BigQuery, and it is able to answer several natural language questions from the BigQuery. It'll get all of that data from BigQuery and return it to you. So yeah, before we go with this, right, what you can do is so this is a cleanup activity, but I think what we need to do is first of all just take some time to have different set of questions to your agent, right, to your chat, the ADK web chat that you have. You can, in fact, when you updated the instructions, just do ADK web again to restart the chat. Play around with several different questions that you have, fulfill your curiosity, and post that when you know, need to do a cleanup, right? And cleanup is important because the credits that we've shared with you, these are for today's workshop, right? But if you keep your BigQuery data set and the agent running, then it might cost you more. So towards the end of the day, when you're done playing with your agent, just execute these commands to do the cleanup, right? Now, what these commands do is basically BQRM minus R and the project ID, your project ID, right? You just have to give this because we had already created this variable, and the e-commerce data set. So it will remove that e-commerce data set, and post that you also can remove your BigQuery ADK code lab, the agent code that you had created. But now I think I'm hoping that all of you are done with this workshop. But I think we will also discuss some of the interesting things, right? What multi agents can do, and how the world is proceeding with agentic AI applications. So now consider, and I'll go back to my slides where, right, this slide particularly. And so now I want to talk a little bit about the agentic AI applications, right? And going to give you some examples to make you understand why are agents important today. For example, you consider DevOps, right? Today, what happens in DevOps is you deploy all your applications, and when you have let's say any problems, right, either in production or in staging, what you do is you go check your logs, decide understand what is the problem area, first narrow down on it, and then troubleshoot, right? And this is just one example. Now consider that you're doing all of those activities, right? And what if I tell you that if you hand over this task to agent, it is going to do amazing job, and even proactively, right? Right now, what you're doing is when some problem happens in the code, or let's say there are some runtime errors in the production, then you're troubleshooting it. But what if, let's say, my agent, multi-agent system that I develop, does several things? It first of all uh, kind of understand. So before that, I think I also want to cover one concept, which is model context protocol. Right now, as its name suggests, the agent is good, or any AI application is good as long as it has the right context and data to it, right? So if you give right context to your agent, in this case, let's say DevOps agent, right? So what will happen is your context in this particular case could be your logs, metrics, traces, right? And your code as well in some of the scenarios. And so a lot of applications today, or a lot of products today, have developed their own MCP, like model context protocol, from where you can just use their MCP to integrate as a tool with your agent development kit, with your agent, right? Now, considering that, now let's say your agent is now leveraging the MCP by the products such as application monitoring, or your cloud infrastructure monitoring MCP you develop yourself, right? And you also give it, you also create a MCP, model context protocol. You're fetching the context for the traces, for the metrics, right? And all of that, let's say you're providing it to your agent. Okay, now what it is going to do is it will keep on observing your logs, metrics, traces, and see if there are any challenges beforehand. For example, there is application degradation that is happening. Let's say you are a big business, it's a flash sale time, and consider that the expectation that you had out of flash sale, and you've exceeded much beyond that, right? And somewhere you're not accounted for it. So at times you will have to see if your application is degrading somewhere, or the performance loss is happening, right? And all of these things, the agent can actually have its own reasoning to understand what is going on from the logs. It will also understand where to look for to confirm that behavior, and what were the timestamps from the traces. It can find out what were the timestamps in which it saw a major problem, right? And then basically combining its reasoning, its decision making, and also leveraging all the resources to proactively convey that there is some problem which is happening even before customers notice it, right? Even a little bit of degradation, even a little bit of latency increase, it will be able to identify before anybody else could identify, and you can quickly act upon it. In fact, even the actions are something that you can automate, right? You can have your own tools to, let's say, increase your auto scaling capacity, right? You can increase your max to increase overall auto scaling capacity, so that in your flash sale, or your big major event, it addresses all the queries at the right latency, at the right performance. So this is kind of one example for agentic AI applications. Now, what is the differentiator here between one agent and agentic AI application is developing one agent is very simple, right? But when you have to develop agentic AI application or multi-agent systems, it needs a lot of things. It needs to understand the root agent, the your orchestration agent needs to understand which sub agent to call when, right? And even that can be autonomous decision. Then your LLM agent as well, if it needs to transfer it to another agent or transfer the flow to another agent, or it needs to call several tools, it will be able to do that on its own, right? And that's the beauty of agents, agentic AI application. And ADK helps beautifully. It has a lot of out of the box functionalities. And as this is open source, you would really love playing around with these ADK samples that we have. In fact, you can search for Google Cloud Vertex AI, generative AI GitHub, and you will find several samples for any and most of the domains. We have different samples. You can just use that code, play around with it, right? In fact, whatever we did today, you can also do that. You can leverage some of your data sources to have either first party connectors, or you can develop your own MCPs for your data sources, like a data warehouse, your analytics systems, and use agents to query those. Yeah, so that's about it, and happy to cover some more examples. But yeah, I think we've overall spoken about several things today. We've spoken about BigQuery, how it helps in efficient analytics. We've also spoken about ADK and agents and agentic AI applications. And today, if you are kind of observing this landscape of agents, agentic AI applications, and let's say in any of the apps that you use, right? Most of the apps beautifully use generative AI today. And if you use some of the apps, if you use their chat box, what the chat interface, what you will notice is initially you must have felt very limited while using the app, right? Because there are several defined options. You need to click on that, and then you need to do a lot of a lot of things yourself to take a decision. For example, consider a travel plan, right? You need to go on a vacation, and you are using one app for travel, let's say travel.com. And there, what you will do is you will basically, uh, let's define a problem concretely, right? Let's say I want to, towards the end of the December, I want to take a vacation, but I also want economic app options during that time. And I go, and first of all, I have to think of all the options myself, right? Because when I'm using a travel app, I need to select the source and destination to see my flights. Then post that, I need to carve out my own itinerary to actually book the hotels, right? So what if, and you do have group packages and stuff, but you don't want to, let's say you're not interested in that. You want to have your own package to be created and as per your preferences. Everyone's preference might be very different, right? So now consider that you have a chat interface, right? And you're not limited by any of the questions that you can ask, right? For example, just enter that give me three economic places, but the beautiful ones. Or you can define more that you want beaches, or you want, sunny getaways, and say that I need this, and it will give you top three uh, cities or countries where you can go, right? And you can also have a more detailed question in terms of the flight prices should be economical or in this range, your hotel prices should be in this range, right? And it will give you those options. Now what you do further is, now you say, okay, show me flights during this time. In the chat interface itself, it shows you a couple of options, right? And if you again fine tune it, economic or luxury or whatever premium segment, then it will give you those options. And post that, you ask the travel planner that, okay, now you tell me that once I reach here, how should my itinerary be, right? I have 6 days 5 nights, please plan out stuff, my itinerary. And you also can give more options if you're going as a family, what kind of things you like doing as a family, or if you're going alone or along with friends, what do you want to do differently, and you can give all those options, and according to that the itinerary will be created, right? And post that, the wonderful thing is, again, once the itinerary is created, or while creating the itinerary itself, you can say that, oh, I need some nice hotels nearby to these locations for the sightseeing that you've suggested. So please also give me those options, right? And you, oh my God, it's so wonderful, right? In like 10 to 15 minutes, you've done your planning. You've not spent days and days to actually plan your vacation. Everything seems really, smooth. And not just that, but let's say when the getaways are suggested, right? Even what are the sightseeings which are available, if you get videos then and there itself, it would be so fantastic, right? And that is all happening today, right? It's not a future. That is all happening today. And you must have already experienced that. If you have been wondering how that happens, so I think you must have got idea today how you can do it, right? Today's session must have helped you to imagine some of those complex systems, and you can enhance onto what you've developed today to create multiple agents, sub agents, have more functionalities, more tools, and see how the sophistication of your agentic AI application takes place. So yeah, that's all I have for today. So yeah, I think if there are any Q&A, we can take those.
Thanks, Jasmine. The session was really very great.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, if you guys have any queries, please drop it in the chat box. So, Jasmine, there is one query. If commands are not executing, what we do?
Okay, so you're talking about the workshop commands, uh, is it? I'm considering that you're talking about the workshop commands. These should execute. You must have missed one or two steps, right? So what I would suggest is you have the link out there. In fact, I can share it once again with you, right, for the workshop link. Um, so yeah, if you can use this link and follow everything step by step, the command should run well. And make sure that you have your Google Cloud project created. It is associated with a billing account, the billing account that we used, right? Google Cloud trial billing account where you've claimed the credits. So yes, you should be able to execute all commands.
Guys, if you have any question, please drop it.
So I hope conceptually as well everything is clear in terms of how did we leverage BigQuery, how did we use agents on top of it, how did we build a system, the evaluation framework. So this could be your end-to-end flow, right? And you can always enhance onto that. And one of the important takeaway also from this session should be to understand what are the use cases that you can use for agentic AI applications, right? And that was the reason I wanted to cover it towards the end, Because after you've executed everything, you can understand the power of the use cases or what you can implement, right? The travel planner that we discussed, or the DevOps platform that we discussed. So that was for the same reason.
Guys, we are waiting for 2 to 3 minutes more. If you have any queries, please drop it in the comment section. Okay, I think we don't have any queries. So thank you everyone for joining today's session, and a special thanks to Jasmine for this wonderful session. It was
Thank you,
really,
Shavi.
yeah. Thank you, Jasmine. And guys, if you have any other query, so please reach out to us at academysupport@hacktoskill.com. Thank you so much everyone for joining. Thank you, Jasmine.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.